Hello and welcome to Walking Wartime, and today we're back at Chelveston and we have young Mr. Richard Flagg with us.
How you doing?
Let's go check it out.
I want to speak on my favorite subject, the Army Air Forces.
Upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months, the eyes of the world are upon you.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
But I want you to remember, the sacrifice that these men have made must not be in vain.
And we shall carry on together.
We'll fight in the hills. We shall never surrender.
Activated on the 1st of March 1942 at the Salt Lake City Air Base in Utah, before being relocated to Geiger Field, Washington on the 29th of June 1942, was the creation of one of the most well-known groups of the 8th Air Force. The 305th Bombardment Group arrived in the UK in early September of 1942 at Station 106 at Grafton Underwood. The group would fly their first mission on the 17th of November 1942, flying a diversion mission for other groups, bombing U-boat pens at Saint-Nazaire, France. Then on the 11th of December 1942, they would be relocated to Chelveston. You can't mention the 305th without talking about General Curtis LeMay. Being advanced to colonel in March 1942 and being named commanding officer of the 305th Bombardment Group and naming them the Can-Do Group. He tightened up the groups, stopped pilots from taking evasive manoeuvres and kept them in formation so nothing could get through. He also came up with the idea of the group dropping their bombs when the lead plane did. Both techniques would be used by the rest of the 8th Air Force. By August 1943, LeMay would be promoted to General of the 3rd Division of the 8th. The 305th were made up of 4 bomb squadrons, the 364th, the 365th, the 366th, and the 422nd. The 364th Bomb Squadron, one of the original groups that came over in 1942, was home to Lieutenant William R. Lawley Jr., who was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor for bringing back a badly damaged B-17 with one engine, half a crew wounded and a co-pilot that had been killed, and successfully crash-landed at Red Hill Airfield. The 365th would take part in the mission over Wilhelmshaven, and a few of the fortresses would make an appearance in the Memphis Belle. Unfortunately, the B-17 Cherry Boomtown was missing in action. The 366th would take part in raids over France, such as the Renault automotive factory in Paris, whilst being attacked by between 50 to 75 Focke-Wulf 190s and heavy flak, and take part in the mission over Schweinfurt. The 422nd would also take part in the Wilhelmshaven mission, Schweinfurt, as well as Merseburg and Anklam missions. It was also home to the B-17 Old Bill. The B-17 was featured in the 1943 film Memphis Belle, and the 413th Air Service Squadron. The 305th would make up part of the 40th Bomb Wing, joining up with the 92nd and the 306th Bomb Groups. British newsreel cameraman John Leonard Ramsden, who was part of the Writing 69th, was stationed at Chelveston. Ramsden joined British Movietone News as a cameraman in 1938. He filmed the Blitz in 1940 and the Varsø raid in Norway in 1941. After his 5-day training with the United States Army Air Force alongside the other Writing 69th, headed out on a mission in the spring of 1943 to catch a daylight bombing of the 8th. Filming from a B-17, he created a heated blanket to prevent his camera from freezing. His footage was featured in Cameraman at War. Built in 1940 by the Taylor Woodrow Limited, the Chelveston Airfield was opened in August 1941, Before it was home to the 305th, the 301st Bomb Group resided at Chelveston from the 9th of August 1942 till the 8th of December of that year, before being assigned to the 12th Air Force and moved to North Africa to take up a role in the Mediterranean theatre. After 337 missions in 9,321 sorties and 22,363 tons of bombs, and a loss of 154 aircraft, 13 of the losses from the second Schweinfurt mission, the men at Station 105 laid down their lives to the call of duty and sacrificed themselves on those early missions so others may survive from what was taught from their actions.